Labour MP Dan Carden just dropped a bombshell about Keir Starmer. He's demanding a national inquiry into grooming gangs, the very thing Starmer is blocking. But why? We've got the inside scoop on why Starmer's own party is turning against him. From leaked documents to shocking policy U-turns, we'll show you why two-tier Keir is facing a massive crisis of confidence. The truth? It's uglier than you can imagine. These days, Starmer is blocking inquiries left and right. It's like he's actively trying to stop people from looking into this stuff. What happened to all those victims he swore he'd help? Let's take a trip down memory lane. When Starmer was DPP, he was talking a big game. He was all about learning lessons and improving the way we investigate and prosecute sexual offenses. He even said, the grooming and sexual exploitation of children is an insidious form of abuse that has a devastating impact on victims. Pretty strong words, right? But fast forward to now, and it's like those words never came out of his mouth. He's not just staying quiet on the issue. He's actively getting in the way of investigations. It's like he's gone from being the hero in this story to being the villain. And it's not just us saying this. Even people in his own party are calling him out. Take Dan Carden, for example. He's a Labour MP, one of Starmer's own guys. And what's he doing? He's demanding an inquiry into grooming gangs, the very thing Starmer is trying to block. Carden's even gone public with it, saying, as a party, we should be leading calls for a Rotherham-style inquiry. Instead, the leadership has gone quiet. Ouch. When your own team is calling you out like that, you know you've messed up. But why? Why would Starmer do such a complete 180? What could possibly make someone go from crusader to obstructionist? Some people are saying it's all about politics. Maybe Starmer is worried about offending certain groups or losing votes. Others think he's just trying to distance himself from his past. Whatever the reason, it's a pretty massive betrayal of trust. Think about it. This guy used to be the one promising justice for victims. Now he's the one standing in the way of that justice. It's like he's pulled the rug out from under everyone who believed in him. And it's not just the victims he's letting down. It's the whole country. We trusted him to be tough on crime, to protect the vulnerable. And what are we getting instead? A whole lot of nothing. But here's the kicker. This isn't even the worst of it. Starmer's flip-flop on grooming gangs is just the tip of the iceberg. It's part of a bigger pattern, a trail of broken promises and betrayals that's starting to define his leadership. And trust me, it gets worse. You've probably heard the nickname two-tier Keir floating around lately. It's a serious problem that's got people questioning Starmer's entire leadership. Like a ship taking on water, Starmer's credibility is sinking fast. And it's not just because of one leak. Let's start with the small stuff and work our way up. Even some of Starmer's own party members are using this nickname now. When your own team starts turning on you, that's when you know you're in deep trouble. But why are people calling him two-tier Keir? Well, it's pretty simple. More and more people are saying that Starmer's got one set of rules for his mates and another for everyone else. Look at how he's handling the whole grooming gang situation. It's like he's got blinders on, picking and choosing what he wants to see. Remember when Starmer promised to be tough on crime? Yeah, well, it looks like that only applies when it's convenient for him. He's flip-flopping all over the place, and it's leaving a lot of people scratching their heads. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Big names like Elon Musk are using the two-tier Keir nickname too. Musk even went as far as accusing Starmer of being complicit in the rape of Britain during his time as Director of Public Prosecutions. That's a pretty heavy accusation. But it's not just about the grooming gangs. It's about how Starmer seems to be prioritizing political correctness over actual justice. Jeremy Clarkson called this out, saying that this obsession with being politically correct is actually making it harder for the police to do their jobs. Political analysts are pointing out that Starmer's refusal to hold a national inquiry into grooming gangs is part of a bigger problem. It's like he's more worried about how things look than actually getting justice for the victims. He's all about holding inquiries for some issues, but when it comes to something as serious as this, he's suddenly not interested. For everyday citizens, this two-tier Keir phenomenon means a loss of trust in the justice system. When people see a leader who seems to apply different standards based on political convenience, it shakes their faith in the entire system. Labour insiders are spilling the beans, and it's not pretty. They're saying that Starmer's handling of sensitive issues is making people lose confidence in his leadership. It's about a pattern of behaviour that's making people question whether he's fit to lead at all. As the ship takes on more water, it's looking less and less likely that Captain Keir can keep it afloat. It's not just Labour insiders who are speaking out. Even celebrities are calling Starmer out on his nonsense. Remember Jeremy Clarkson? Well, he's got some choice words about this whole mess that'll make your jaw drop. Clarkson didn't hold back when he talked about the political correctness that's messing up police investigations into grooming gangs. He said, "We need to remove these shackles from the police and explain that it's not racist to investigate a rapist." I mean, how much more obvious does it need to be? The situation is so messed up, it's hard to believe it's real. Imagine a young girl going to the police to report being raped by a gang of Pakistani men, only to be dismissed because the constable is afraid of being called racist. That's the world we're living in now, thanks to this insane level of political correctness.